everyone. Thank you for joining me today with Keystone Tax Solutions. Today I'll be showing you how to complete a return using Keystone Tax Solutions software. What we're currently looking at now is our website. You can log in directly from our website. So I'm going to scroll down and you just click on the login screen. This is what you'll see once you click on login. This is your login screen. You're going to enter your account name, your password, and your firm name. Just keep in mind that when you type in your information for these spaces, do not put any additional characters in there. What the computer does, it identifies that extra space as a character, so you will get an error logging in. Some people tend to put a space bar after their username or their password, and they always have an error logging in. So just be sure to make sure you're not putting any additional spaces, and always check your caps button. So we're just going to go ahead and log in right here. Put in a verification code here and click login. This is just a security feature. Just select continue. This is our dashboard here. This is where you can see what turns have been completed, if you have checks ready, if you have anything ready to e-file. Up here, this is for those that may have businesses and they do corporate returns. This is where you'll access those forms. We're just going to go to individual here. To start a return, click clients. I'm going to go to new return, and I'm just going to enter in some dummy information here. Don't put any accurate information when you're practicing or just training in the software. And just always make sure you put in the correct information twice. And anything that you need will already be selected, so you don't have to worry about selecting anything down here unless you're doing a different type of return like your 1040 NR or amendment return or something like that. But we're just doing a regular 1040 return, so just click save and continue. This is where we're going to enter in all your clients' personal information here. Just enter in some dummy information. Birthday. A little too young there. Occupation, always enter in the occupation. If you don't, you will get an error at the end when you try to save your information. So just put in something here. You always want to kind of cut down on your steps and your errors to make your process a little quicker. If your client has an identity protection pin, you're going to enter that information here. Anything down here is already clicked that needs to be clicked, unless one of these other boxes is something that pertains to your client, then you're going to click whatever pertains to it. The next section is for your insurance. As we know by law, everybody is required to have insurance. You will be penalized if you do not have insurance. So you're going to click yes here. Did the primary taxpayer have health insurance coverage through the marketplace? That's like your Obamacare, your Medicaid, and things of that nature. I'm going to click no here. And when you click no, it automatically takes that 1095-A form. If they had insurance through the marketplace, when you click yes, that's going to automatically pop up and that's going to already be clicked. But if they did not have insurance through the marketplace, they had it through their job, or they pay out of pocket their own insurance, you're going to click no. And whether that's the 1095-B or 1095-C, you're going to select whichever one that applies. Or you can use this last box, because sometimes people file and they haven't received their information in the mail, but you can just click this box here, just saying that they did have insurance, but they just haven't received their papers in the mail. So you can go down here and click individually the months that they did have insurance. But we're just going to do select all months, and it automatically clicks those, because you want to have health insurance throughout the year so you do not get penalized for it. Here we're going to select your filing status. The typical person usually files head of household, so we're going to click head of household here. enter in your address. And rather than taking the time to type the city and the state, once you do a zip code, it's going to automatically populate that for you. So you can just click to the side. And that information should have just populated. There it is. That information populates for you. If your client has an email address, you can go ahead and put that information in. At the end of your return, you do have an option of emailing that client their return if they want to have their return emailed to them. So you can enter that information in here and it saves it into the system. Enter a daytime phone number. And always just go ahead and get 2 contact numbers from that client, because once we get to the client payment portion and do the bank app, the bank actually requires you to have 2 phone numbers on file. So just go ahead and get those 2 numbers here, because if you get to the bank application, it's going to give you an error. You won't be able to complete the bank application. You're going to have to come out of that and come back to this screen to add another number. So just go ahead and get 2 phone numbers. Usually any of this really does not apply, so you don't really have to worry about that. If the clients want to have their return direct deposit into their account, you're going to get the checking or savings account information, whichever it is, and you're going to enter that here. So right now we've entered in everything here, so we're just going to go down and we're just going to click save. If we had an error, it will tell us. You will have a red little circle, and it's going to be by whatever box it is that you may have an error on. So we have no errors. We can go ahead and go to our next step now. The next thing we're going to do is the additional information page. This is just basically saying that you have verified your client's identity. You can select yes and put all the information in, or you can select no and you don't have to put all that information in. But we're going to go ahead and select yes, because there was an update this year with the software. When you get to the bank application, it's not going to let you proceed on if the ID information is not here. So we're just going to go ahead and click yes here, and then we're going to put the client's ID information here. Like I said, you just want to basically cut down any errors or steps and handle everything on the front end, as opposed to when you get into the information on the back end, you won't have any other errors. The ID number goes here. Then we're going to do the issue date here. Expiration. Did you verify the taxpayer identity in person? Yes. And you're just going to click here, just saying that you use these documents to verify their identity. We're going to click save. Okay, as you see, we have no errors on this page. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and enter in our dependent information here. Anytime you want to add a new dependent, you're always going to go to add new. I'm going to enter information here. Relationship to you. Enter a birth date. The social security number. Some dependents have identity protection PIN numbers. If they do, you're going to enter that information here. Anything that you need is already clicked for you. Of course, when you file a dependent, that dependent has to be in your household at least 6 months of the year. So you're gonna, this is already clicked yes for you, and this is already set at 12 months, so you don't have to do that. Down here, all of this is selected for you. If anything else applies, you're gonna go ahead and select it. In this case, I selected head of household for this client, so we're gonna do the head of household qualifier here, so make sure that is clicked. You don't have to worry about any of this down here because this is already clicked for you. This is pertaining to the dependent, just saying that you have the right to file that dependent. Same thing with the dependent health insurance. If it was through the marketplace, you're going to select yes. If not, select no. You're going to select the forms. We're going to go ahead and select all months. Is this dependent required to file their own taxes? No, usually is no. So we're going to select no and click save. We have no errors. It brought us back to this screen, and this is just showing the dependent's first and last name, social, date of birth, relationship, and the credit that they're able to get. If their person was not qualified for EIC, there will not be an X right here. So we're going to go ahead and move to the next step, which is to enter in your income information. If you want to find a form, you can type it in here, and it's going to find whatever form that is you're looking for. I'm going to type in wages. Okay, looks like I'm having an error here. So we're just going to go down and select W-2. If you type in wages there, it's going to automatically populate that form for you and find it. My computer's a little late here, so you see it's the stuff that I typed in up here is just now populating. So this is for the W-2 information here. Just same thing as a dependent. Anytime you add a new information, you're going to go to add new. Control number, if there was a control number, you put that in there. If not, you're going to go to the EIN number. Type in your EIN number here. Just going to type in a dummy EIN number. I'm going to type in a dummy company. That information populates for you. Make sure you have an address in there. Enter in the wages and tips from your W-2 box, which would be box 1 on your W-2 form. And once you click that, you see it automatically populates these for you. So the only thing you actually have to enter in is your wages here and the federal income that was withheld on that. If any of these other codes or anything apply, go ahead and fill those in. Some people have retirements and IRA and things of that nature, so if they have and insurance, if they have any of that, you're going to enter that information here. You're going to see the information on the W-2, and it's going to tell you what box is in 12, B, C, D, E, F. So just make sure you look all the way through the W-2 to make sure there's no other information in those boxes that needed to be transferred in here. If there was any state taken out, you're going to enter that in here just like you enter in the information up here. You're just going to enter in the information down here, which will probably be different information because your state taxes is not as high as your federal taxes. So if you enter in everything, just go ahead and click save. Okay, after you click save, it's going to bounce you back to this screen. If you had any errors, it will let you know on that last screen. And this is the refund amount here in your bottom left hand corner. Now if you want to go to see which files were formed, click Filed Forms, and it's going to show you all the forms that have been filed on this return. What you want to do, you want to click on those forms just to make sure that all the information is in there. If you look here to the left, these are your forms that have been filed. So your 8867, that is your due diligence form for your earned income credit and your child tax credit. It does not automatically fill this form out for you, so you're going to have to go ahead and click on that to get to that form to make sure that your client gets the credit for that dependent. This is your 8867 form. These questions just are only asked just to verify that you are able to file the dependent that you are claiming. This is for earned income credit. This is for your child tax credit. This is for your American Opportunity Credit for those clients who have been in school. They have to provide a 1098-T form for that. So we're going to answer these questions here. Did you complete the return based on information for your tax year 2016 provided by the taxpayer? Yes. and you're going to do yes for both of them. The answer to these questions, all three of these questions, is going to be the exact same thing. So if you answer yes on one, it's going to have to be yes across the board. You don't have to worry about this unless the taxpayer was in college or had some type of school credit to add to this return. If not, you don't have to worry about this. You won't even be able to click on this. Did you complete the applicable EIC and or child tax credit worksheets form 1040? I'm going to select yes for both of these. Did you satisfy the knowledge requirement? Yes on those two, on A and B, because you're supposed to be interviewing your client to make sure this person can file that dependent. Did any information provided by the taxpayer, a third party, or reasonably known to you in connection with preparing the return appear to be incorrect, incomplete, or inconsistent? I'm going to select no. These questions you do not have to answer for 4A and 4B if that is no up there. If it's yes, then you will have to answer this, but usually this answer to this question will always be no. And this is just asking, did the person provide some type of documentation showing that they were able to receive EIC and CTC? So we're going to click yes. You're going to have to put an explanation in there, but we're going to do that at the end, because if we do it now, the rest of your boxes are going to be red, as they're saying that you haven't answered those questions. So we're going to go ahead and carry on with the other questions. Did you ask the taxpayer whether he or she could provide documentation to substantiate eligibility for and the amount of credit claim for the return? Yes on both of these. Did you ask the taxpayer if they were disallowed credits for the previous year? Yes. Were any credits previously reduced? No. And these, you don't have to worry about these, and this is for clients who are filing a Schedule C. So you don't even have to answer these questions. All of these questions here will be yes. Just verify that you asked all the questions and ask them questions about the dependent. So we're going to select yes for all of those. And did you certify that all the answers on Form 8867 is true to your knowledge? You're going to click yes. So we're going to go back up and do attachment, and we're gonna, you have to attach type in what document that they provided you to show that they can file this dependent. In order to get earned income credit, you have to have some type of income. Whether if they were a Schedule C, they have to provide some type of taxpayer documents or a summary of their income. If it's a W-2, you just put W-2 here. Okay, for credit for your earned income credit, as I stated, it has to be a W-2 or some type of summary of income. So we're just going to type W-2 here. Click save. Okay. Then the next one we're going to do is for the child tax credit. And that has to be either the child's social security card, a birth certificate, insurance card, something just showing that you do have custody to that child. That's what the child tax credit is for. So we're going to put an explanation in this as well. So any type of documentation they provide, everything that they provide, we're going to put it here. Usually it's a birth certificate and a social security card, so we're going to type that in here. You can just do SSC for social security card and click save. Now everything on here should be complete. We're going to click save, and if there is any error, it's going to identify what errors that we have and let us know. It's processing. Okay, looks like we have no errors. So what we're going to do, that's basically the return. So what we're going to do is verify. You always verify and you always complete. So we're going to verify, and if there's anything or any information missing, it's going to let us know what information is missing to actually complete the return. It says enter taxpayer PIN number. So we're just going to click there to fix whatever the issue is. And it takes you to this screen here, so you can just automatically generate that PIN number for them. And it's usually the last 5 of their socials. Just click there to auto-generate that. We're going to process the information. Once it processes, we're going to go back up and click verify again just to make sure there are no errors, and then we're going to complete it. That's the ERO pin. Click save. No errors. We're going to go to verify again. No errors are found in this return. You're just going to click X. Then you're going to select complete. Are you ready to mark this return as complete? You're going to click yes. Are you ready to mark this return as review? Click yes. File this return as electronically. Everything is electronically. So you're going to save and close, or you can save and go back to your managed return screen. And now that client is complete. And here on your dashboard you can see all the information about your client. You're going to see the refund amount. If there were a state refund that was due to the client, you're going to see that information here. The client's basic contact information and income summary information. And that is how you complete a return. You're basically complete with this return. The only thing left to do is the client payment. That will be in another video that we'll show you. If you look down here, it's going to tell you the time that was spent on this return. And as you can see, this return only really took 11 minutes and 32 seconds. So it tells you when the return was created, you know, the date, the review date, and once you transmit that client, is going to tell you when that client was transmitted as well. So that's all for how to complete a return using Keystone Tax Solutions. Thank you for watching.